So I will talk about Tudum. So that's great because not a lot of people know about Tudum. So I hope you will enjoy that. So first, I'm gonna present the landscape of Docker's product currently, how Tudum is really situated. Then just talk about the key features before doing a live demo. So pray the demo gods, please. And then talk about what's next for Tudum, because as we got acquired, things are gonna change a little bit, but for the better good. So this is the current state of Docker product. So we have the classic build chip run schemes. And so Tudum is the cloud solution for the run part. So Tudum is really a platform to run containers super easily. And you have the equivalent, which is for your on-prem, which is a Docker Universal Control Plane that has been introduced at DockerCon recently. So basically, two products will do basically the same thing in general, with different waves, of course. The one being a SaaS solution, the other one being an on-prem solution. So for concerning Tudum, so as I was saying, so it's a SaaS, and we're currently in beta, and we're aiming to hit GA as soon as possible for beginning of 2016. We have a set of some notions. So here I just defined what is a node cluster. So basically a node is just a machine that you bring at Tudum, because at Tudum you bring your own machines, you bring your AWS instances, your DigitalOcean instances, and then we will take care of the plumbing and everything. So that's a node, and you can build a set of nodes, which is a node cluster. Then at Tudum we have this notion of services. So that's important for the rest, especially for the demo, and that are a set of containers, basically. So we scale services by adding up containers. And the same for stacks. Stacks basically are Docker Compose files, but a little bit different. I'm going to show you after that. Yeah. So as I was saying, so you can provision from different host providers, like AWS, SoftLayer, Azure. And you can also bring your own machines. So if you have, like, you're in a company that has its own data center or own machines, you can just bring them onto them really easily, like just copy paste the script and just works. One of our main feature is that we also allow to build and test repositories on any kind of registry, whether it's a private one, whether it's the Docker one. We help you to just test using a simple compose file, so with a YAML syntax, really familiar from comparing to other tools. And the difference with the build that the hub has done is that the build will happen on one of your nodes, so it will not happen in the build farm like it does on the Docker Hub. So basically, you can specifically add a node with the configuration you want, just to build Docker images with a single Git push. Really, really handy. Otherwise, we have another set of services that we provide all the plumbing, basically, like DNS-based service discovery, overlay network. We're currently still not using Docker network that has been released, but we are working on it. So we have our own custom overlay network. And we also do auto redeploy on push. So basically what will happen is that once we detect a push through GitHub, or a merge through a pull request or whatever, we're going to detect that event, and we're going to redeploy your service by removing one by one all the containers that were inside that service and launching them again, but with the new definition of the image that has been built on your own machines. So that's what I will show you for the demo. So let's hope everything works today. Yeah. So I have a little application that, for the ones who went at DockerCon, you might seen it. It's a voting application when you can vote between two solutions and see the result in another app. So basically, we have a Docker Compose file that is classic, that most of you are probably using already. But today, I'm going to deploy that on Tudum easily in a matter of seconds. I mean minutes because we need the build, but still, it's going to be really, really easy. So first, if I just build the app to show you. So classic Docker Compose app. And now if I refresh my Docker machine, so yeah, we have the app here, and we have the app here as well. So it's a simple voting app. It's really, really easy, simple app, generic. Let's now take a look at Tudum. So here you can see the node dashboard. So basically, it's where you manage your machines. You can simply launch a new node cluster from any provider, or as I was saying before, bring your node, so bring your own machine. And bring your own machine is just copying, pasting that simple script, and it will be like launching a classic node. And I already have several nodes. So I have one called Builder. I called it Builder because at Tudum, if you call the node Builder, all the builds will occur on that node only. If you don't call a node Builder, they will just occur on the node that has the lowest number of containers. But I want the build to occur on that node. Also, I have several nodes in production, and I want a node in staging. And today, I'm going to put that app in staging and do some changes and show you how the redeploy works. So you have also the repository section. So that's where I register my app. So I will just deploy the voting app just for a matter of time. And so you have all those repository basically are images now available for me to use on my own Tudum account. So I'm going to go, I already created the repo because they take some time, but, whoops, Twitter. So I just created the repository. Now I need to link it to my application that is on GitHub. So it's really easy. You just need to link your GitHub account on your Tudum account. It's just a single click. And then you can edit the repository. And you have just a simple form, just choosing your organization and the repository. So for me, it's voting app DockerCon. And here you arrive at the tag mapping section. So what we'll allow is that you can map Docker image tags to actual GitHub branches. So whenever you will push to a specific branch, we will build that tag and only that tag. So today, I'm going to build 2 tags. I'm going to build staging, which will match the staging branch on my app. And if I take a look at I will just shut that down. If I take a look at my repo, you see I have 2 folders, so the 2 apps are in different folders. So it's in voting app, so I just need to basically add that to the Docker file path. The Docker file is on these folders. So here we are. So we just set up our app. We also have the auto build. So basically, every time you will push, if you activate auto build, we will automatically build a Docker image every time. But sometimes you don't want that, so that's why we give the option to the user just to disable it. For instance, for a master release or something like this, you don't really want the auto build. You can just simply do it, disable it. Sorry. So now let's hit save and build. So now both of our tags are building, and they're building on the builder node that I showed you here. This is where the build occurs right now. So clearly, what's happening? We have an open source container called Tudum Builder, and basically all the repository are going to be built inside it. We just put the code inside, and we run the build of the Docker file, and run the test as well. So if the test passes, we're going to push the image. If the test doesn't pass, we just give you some logging or notification. And we have also extra possibilities for that, like putting hooks, like other CI/CD service usually do. And you can put a pre-push hook, a pre-test, a post-test hook, whatever if you need to build. You can do really a lot of things. Like, for instance, when I'm working at Tudum, I'm doing basically Golang a lot. So I'm building my Golang binaries in a Golang container that I launch inside the Tudum builder. So everything is like container inside a container inside a container. So this can be a little bit extreme, but that works well. So I just put a pre-built hook. Basically, I build my binary, and then I build my Docker image, and it works just fine. So the build is going to take some time. So while it's building, I'm going to show you the stacks of my app that I'm going to deploy on Tudum, which is quite different, a little bit different of the Docker Compose file. We basically have another file. Does everyone see? It's OK? Or shall I zoom a tiny bit? Here? Yeah, OK. So this is called a Tudum YAML. Basically, it's like a Docker Compose.yaml. It has the same aim, but we have a tiny difference in terms of notions of what we're deploying here, because here we're not deploying containers, stack of containers. We're deploying stack of services, which are a set of containers. So the result app will use the Docker image that I've built, the voting app as well. That's the one right now that is being built with a specific tag and everything. So, but here you can notice some extra keywords that you haven't seen before in the Docker Compose syntax, like tags. I put staging because I want that app to end up on the staging node. It's really easy. So you can really tag your nodes, tag your apps so they end up in the machine you just want. You also have target num containers. Basically, you can set immediately at launch the number of containers you want in every service. And that's really neat because sometimes we want to scale immediately to 3, 4, or 5 containers. So you can do that straight from the file. And so as I was saying, so it's like the Docker Compose one. The only difference is that I wanted to show you that as well. I added a load balancer in front of it. We have our own HA proxy image definition that works out of the box. Like you just need to link it to the service you want. And every time you will scale the container, we'll get the event, and the HA proxy will update its configuration. So I will deploy that as well today. And oh, it's built. So now let's create a stack. So it's really easy. You just need to go to create a stack, basically name it. So call it GOTO Berlin. And I'm just going to copy paste that inside that file. You can also drag and drop directly the YAML files. And we also have another service called stackfiles.io, basically, where users from Tudum can share, or from GitHub in general, can share Docker Compose files or Tudum YAMLs. So you can get really configuration to be ready just to deploy a simple stack. It's really neat with a search engine and everything. So you can really look for whatever you need. And then I'm going to hit create and deploy. So now it's creating the stack. And if everything runs fine, it will deploy each one of the services with depending on the dependencies. So because both voting app and result app are depending on Redis, we'll first deploy Redis. Then we'll deploy the voting app and the result app. And only once the voting app will be deployed, we'll deploy the load balancer. And because the load balancer is linked to the voting app. And if everything runs fine, at the end of the deployment, I should see endpoints here that will lead me to my application. So Tudum automatically attributes endpoints to your service if you publish ports. So you can expose them from the container to have them existing and accessible inside the node, but you can also publish them to have an endpoint directly to that app. So that's ease up the whole process. And then if you need the domain name or whatever, you just need to set up either a load balancer or nginx in front with a virtual host, or you can just use a CNAME. It's not that complicated. So it's going to take a little bit of time because I scaled immediately to 3 containers. But if we're going to the details of the service, we'll see like we immediately have our 3 containers starting right now on our staging machine. And that's just through the definition of the stack files. It's really easy to get. Also, in the end, every time you need to do some changes to your stack files, you can do them directly on Tudum, so you don't need to terminate the actual stack and do the modification and launch it again. You can just edit it here, and the service affected by the modifications will be automatically they will have like a orange dot next to them that will require redeploy to have their newest definition. So we'll should soon be good to go. Yeah, so the result app just launched, the voting app should follow, and now load balancer is following as well. So everything runs fine so far. So our load balancer will automatically detect the will automatically be linked to the voting app. We'll get, through the overlay network, we'll be able to access those containers and just link them and add them to the config of HAProxy automatically. Nothing to do right now. I just copy-paste a stack. So it's available. So we have here our load balancer. So basically, it's a load balance the voting app. It might take some time to just access through because of DNS can take some time. And on the other hand, I have also my result application. Let's see. And you can also have, because that load balancer service basically has one container, so you can have basically also a endpoint for directly the container, not just the service. So it should work. Sometimes the service works better. Well, last time it hanged like this, I ran out of internet in front of 200 people. So I hope it's not the case this time. Should be okay. Sometimes it happens, we have DNS issues. That's what I will test. I should have. Yeah, I have. So I think it's the DNS will take some time to update. Yeah, it's just not available. So while it's loading, I'm going to show you what the HAProxy has actually done. Yeah. So when we're looking at a service, we have different options. We can check the monitoring, the endpoints, but also the logs. So sometimes debugging with the logs should be okay. So yeah, no, the HAProxy has load balanced correctly. So if I zoom in and I check here we have the IPs of our voting apps. So it should be okay. Should be okay. Yeah, not timed out. Yeah, sometimes it's just DNS. Takes time. Well, that's not the matter. You saw the app. It should be okay. It's just DNS issue. It takes time. So now that my app is launched and that it's running fine, I mean, I hope. What about just doing a little change and see what happens when we git push something to the repository? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just do a small changes in the app. Yeah, so the voting app, I'm just going to change the options. Like here, it was cats versus dogs. I'm going to do dev versus ops. And just going to do that. I'm going to save, and I'm going to just commit that and push it to my repository. So in the meantime, maybe the DNS will work correctly. Yeah, so call that update choice, and I'm going to git push. Well, that's kind of slow. I think it's the internet again. If everyone else has issues right now, or it's working fine? Well, if I cannot git push, that's problematic. What? Sorry? Oh, really? Oh, yeah. That sucks quite a bit if I can git push. If anyone has a hotspot or something to Save me. Yeah. I mean, Google worked quite well. If I want to ping my machine, works as well, but I cannot git push. That's quite annoying. Two? That's SSH. I mean, I download this repository through SSH. I git clone it, so I can try. Oh, I'm not used to the new interface of GitHub. Yeah. Yeah, I can also edit the file here. It will work better. Thanks for the trick. Yeah. It's not a good practice. Don't do what I'm doing. So I'm going to edit the file live on GitHub. Well, shit happens. So dev versus ops. Let's go. Should trigger the build, so yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Good one. Yep. I would have pushed that to master, imagine. Wow. And let's go. Commit changes. So now, if everything runs fine, yep, it works. So basically, our voting app just caught the modification I did on live on GitHub, which is not good at all, but still it should have worked from Git Push. But it's the same thing, basically. We got a change. The code has been updated on the staging branch. So the staging tag is building automatically. And so once the, so what I wanted to show you from the previous file is that you can see that additional field here, auto redeploy true. So the voting app is going to auto redeploy on any change for this image specifically. So once the tag will be built again, we'll redeploy automatically the app, which will be load balanced automatically as well. So we'll see during the logs, because I can sadly, for some reason, show you the app. So we'll see during the logs of the load balancer that it will be load balanced automatically again without any issues. And just to spoil a little bit the thing, when we have a load balancer connected to a set of containers, what we do during redeploy is that we terminate them one by one. So bad I cannot show you that, because you can see like the changes occurring one by one on every container. So you don't have actual downtime. You can auto redeploy without downtime. We just remove them one by one, and if the app would have worked, but here it's more of a connection issue, I guess. What? Are blocked? Oh, seriously? Well, I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna do, once we redeploy, I'm gonna do something really easy. I'm gonna edit the port on the stack file to put it port 80, so no ports. So it's gonna be live demo as well. So but I'm gonna do it, and it should work then. Yeah, so let's wait until everything is built correctly. So once the repository will build, I want to show you like, okay, in the stack, it's working well. It's redeploying as expected, but right now it's still building. We also have, I can show you during the build. We also have a timeline of what's happening. That's for every kind of object, So here it was the image, so we know the build, we have the logs and everything, we know where I have actually done my build, so here in Germany. We have the logs of the build, so if a test fails, we'll pipe the logs outside of the container and just show it to you, so you can see what's wrong. So yeah, here I didn't have actual test. I have a simple test just to echo something, but you can put whatever you need. You can put just a simple Docker compose test YAML. That's how it works. There is documentation about that, and you can just set your suit test that you want to execute your command, and you can actually build that inside another container if needed. That's another level of isolation. Oh, it's built. So now we should have, yeah. So yeah, because the result app and the voting app are in the same repo, they caught the event. So both of them are redeploying, but the voting app is redeploying. So if I go to the detail view again, so one by one, so they're terminating. So you see voting app 1 and voting app, yeah, that's done. So voting app 1, 2, 3 have been terminated and then relaunched with the new definition of the image. And now, if we go to our load balancer, we can see, yeah, the configuration has been unchanged because basically they kept the same IP address, so we don't need to change anything. But it can happen once we redeploy that the container changes its IP address. So in that case, we're going to just update the configuration. So now I'm going to do something. So just to show you, so you can either do what I will do. You can either do that on the stack files, either do that on our service wizard. So basically, we'll just load the image information, and instead of exposing port 8080, I'll just do port 80. That's really easy. So I'm updating the definition of the load balancer so you guys can see the app. And I'm just going to redeploy the service so it has the new definition. So you have a deeper look in redeploying containers. Yep, it works. So if we check the logs, we relaunch our HA proxy, and it has load balanced our applications again. So let's check that, if that works. That works better. So yeah, so sadly, I didn't know about that port thing, but now we have our change there. So we had cat versus dog before. I push, we have dev versus ops. So next time I will put that directly on port 80 for the next demo. So here, so yeah, so now we have a stack working. So we have a CI/CD workflow, really easy set it up, and we can easily change our current stack. You saw that just pushing code or editing services, just redeploying is really quick. Load balancing is really easy. We have other images that Tudum has done to ease up the process of deploying stuff like WordPress or Nginx. We just tweak them a little bit to make them more easier to use. And I'm going to go back to the presentation. To talk about what's next for Tudum. So first, sorry for the internet outage, happens. And so what we'll do, because we got acquired by Docker, so you might expect more stuff to get along with the hub that has been there for quite a long time now. So what will happen is that Docker Hub and Tudum will eventually just being unified completely. So we are currently switching registry. Before Tudum had its own registry. Now we're using the Docker Hub ones. So every image that I push today, they push to the Docker Hub automatically. Unified build test system. So we basically, Docker Hub and us, we built the build and test system at the same time, but before the acquisition. So for the moment, it's quite different. But we're gonna take each other's IDs to build up a unified build test system. And basically, what you will just do on Tudum will, for build test stuff, it will be exactly the same on Docker Hub. Nothing will change the interface whatsoever. And also the UI, yeah, we're working hard with the front-end team of Docker just to unify the UI from Docker Hub and Tudum, taking what's good from both of the apps and just building one cloud service that is really working well. And yeah, as I was saying before, Docker 1.9 that has tons of new features that are really neat, especially the network stuff, because right now we're using our own network overlay that is built on top of Weave, which allows like just putting a router container on every node and just the traffic goes through that container between them. And well, it's working well so far, but we want to go more native because, of course, it's better and you have better performance. And also our aim for the rest of the year and the beginning of the new year is to squash the last few tiny little bugs that we still have, to improve the little details, so we'll be ready for GA and you'll be able to use a nice product. So thank you. And sorry that the demo didn't work well as expected, but I hope you enjoyed it as so far. And also, they told me to remind you that, so to rate the session. So I hope the demo won't remove me a star or two, but sadly it was more technical than actually demo got stuff. So, well, thank you.